if Jesus Christ is God,
Yes.
He came down to teach a lesson.
Yes. More than a lesson. He
You know
came to
how
save
many
you and I.
people? How many people we have in our scriptures that came down just like Jesus Christ, and we know He is God. Krishna, you've heard of Krishna before?
Yes.
He is God. He
Krishna is
taught-
not God. Unless you're born again, you will just live
I
as a
agree.
sinner.
I am
You
born as a
can't help
sinner.
it.
I was born as a sinner 1,000.
That is why you
millions of
need.
times.
No, that's not. How can that be? How can you be born a sinner 1,000 millions of times? How can that be?
Because reincarnation.
You were born one day. You have a date of birth, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, that is the day you were born. That's why
I was
now
never
you
born and
must
I will
born
never
again.
die. I was never born and I will never die.
You will die. I will die. Even I'm born again, but I will die.
This body will
if I
die,
stay.
you will not
That's my point.
You know why?
It's a different kind of love. So he's explaining the word
I
love.
understand what he's explaining.
The word love
He's trying to
means
explain me
lots of
love,
things.
and I'm telling him according to my scriptures, love is not defined as this.
But my scripture is saying that. But what I'm
So
saying
now
is
it's just a battle of scripture versus scripture.
Yeah, but then your
I am
scripture.
against this. Do you know why?
Why?
Because our God says that you can learn through the scriptures, but I given two paths. Path of meditation and path of knowledge. If you meditate and clear your mind instead of going to scriptures, answers will naturally come from your subconscious, which is directly linked to the whole cosmos and God Himself. If you just know, if you follow your moral rights, and we call this dharma, if you go along with life, if you don't go against life, you won't need the scriptures. Why? Because God has already sent you on a path that you cannot destroy from your previous life. So we believe in reincarnation. We believe that after you die, you go to a place depending on how you sin. For example, Hitler. I believe he went to a very bad planet, and it's a hell planet. And he suffered, and he comes back again to try to see God again.
Can I say something? What you're saying is very problematic. Because
Really?
what you're saying is problematic because let me explain to you. The original scriptures explains the beginning, it explains what has happened, and explains where we are. But you
So
see,
does ours.
but then from what you're saying, yours sounds very chaotic.
No, you just don't
yours begin?
understand it. So
No,
obviously, anything
I want to know. How did yours
you
begin?
don't understand fully.
How did yours begin?
How does ours begin?
Yes, how does creation begin?
Okay,
for
so
you?
God exists without His creation. Yes or no?
He exists without his creation.
God exists
But
without
who is this God you're talking about? Who is he?
the ultimate, the one who created. You cannot ask who is God.
Why not?
How can you ask? who
Because
is
the
God?
scripture tells us in the scripture says God is a spirit.
If I ask
So-
God right
so
now,
we
who
know-
is He? Will He answer? He
He's
has
ask-
already shown me who He is. Look at you, look at me, look at the creation.
I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I hear what you're saying, but that's not God. I'm sure
Only God
himself.
can tell you what
Yeah,
he
but I'm saying God Himself. You see, this is why I said what you're saying is problematic because there is no beginning. I mean, you're almost like your God is all over the place. But I can say to you from the scriptures,
Is God omnipresent?
Is,
Is
He
God
is.
omnipresent?
Even
Okay,
though He's
so is He all over
omnipresent,
the place?
He's not all over the place in that sense. For you, it's
In that
scattered.
sense.
Because when I say all over the place, I mean scattered. What you're saying is very scattered because it's not structured. And I'm saying
Give
to
me
you,
evidence on why it's scattered. Tell me what I said. So
what you're
far,
saying,
I told you
what
two
you were
things.
saying, you were mentioning about consciousness and information coming down and how if everybody opens up, they can just tap in and get the energy. Didn't you mention that? So I'm saying to you that when you speak like that, you're generalizing, but you're not addressing the real issue because human beings have an issue.
What's the issue? Tell me.
The greatest issue of human beings is called sin. Sin. Do you know what sin is?
Yes, of course.
What is sin?
It's going against God. That's what it is.
That's good. So you understand that. Now, question is, how do we then ask out? The first question is, where did sin come from?
Where does sin come from?
Yes.
Sin comes from internally. It comes from the desire of wanting to go to do something.
Are we born
other
with
than
it? Are we born with it? Is it something we develop? Is it? I mean, how do we?
Sin? Okay, so there are 4 stages. We call this. Okay, there is the golden age. Okay, humans were much taller. They had longer lives. There's an age where sin starts to happen. So sin in our culture also has an influence from the demons onto this world.
Where did the demons come from?
where the demons come from.
Yeah.
They were all united, and when God created, there's demons that had this internal
They were
desire
created.
to go.
They were created as demons.
No, they were created normal, but they chose different paths in the spiritual world of God. And the spiritual world of God is infinite. I don't know.
So is there a library or some information that tells us what you're saying?
Exactly, Srimad Bhagavatam.
But you see, this is part
Canto
of what
1 to 12,
this
the
is part of what I
Bhagavad
mentioned.
Gita, the four Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, all these things.
This is part of what I mentioned. That when you come to the original scriptures, it tells you that, like what you're saying, for me, what you're saying comes from what the scripture calls the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Have you heard about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? You see, the scriptures mentions the Holy Scriptures.
The Bible.
Yes.
So the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Yes. It tells you where everything started from. It tells you where things are, and it tells you exactly where they are going. And then it tells you your part in it. That is why I said to you earlier on that Jesus Christ says, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Except a man be born again, he cannot enter the kingdom. So it's about kingdoms. You know, it's mentioning that God has a kingdom. And that you have to be born again to enter. And so not every human being is in the kingdom of God. And I was going to ask you, have you entered God's kingdom? Are you in His kingdom?
Am I in God's kingdom?
Yes. Are you born again?
Okay, so now what you're doing, right, is you're giving you're taking the teachings of the Bible, right, and you're telling another religion that his religion cannot get him to the Lord. Right? You're saying that the Vedas, which not only came before the Bible, it has more knowledge than the Bible. It has more astrology. It has how every cell in your body works.
That was what I was telling you.
So this knowledge, right, is not only coming from so spirituality and science come together in Hinduism, okay? And this Hindu path gives you all the paths to God. And what the path you're talking about is the path of devotion, which I also follow myself. The path of devotion is to find love in God, right? And Jesus is the tool for you to find the love of God so you don't sin again. See, whether I follow the Bible or not, I know that my soul, so I know if I'm getting closer to God or I'm not getting closer. Would you agree that a normal human being who hasn't even known the essence of God, would he know that he himself is more evil or good? It's a natural thing for a human being to realize if he's good or not, no?
I don't agree about that. My greatest thing appeal to you is that you need to be born again.
If I was born already.
Yes.
So what's this being born again? Because I'm already here, right?
Good. That is what I want to explain to you. That from the scriptures, the reason why we need to be born again is because inside us there is a contrary nature. Like there is a nature that is different from God. We have like for example, we have a seed of evil in us. Every human being is born with it. You know, it wasn't like that in the beginning, but it happened.
And came over time, yes?
And not so much. It happened at one time. It seemed to happen at the same place. Yeah. And now that is why we need to be born again. We began in God's family. We went out of God's family. To born again is to come back into God's family. And only Jesus Christ is the one who is the way. You can't go any other way. You can't do any other religion. And I'm not. I kind of respect what people believe, but I know that there is only one truth. That is Jesus Christ. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm saying that to you. That's why I say, are you born again? Because you need to be born again. Because if you're not born again, from what the scripture teaches,
so when you say born again, okay, so this desire that to fight against God that you talk about, that I need to be born again for.
Need to be born again.
How come I can just go against it myself with my own?
Because it's in your blood. You're born with it.
But can
it wasn't
go
like
against
that.
Can you go against it even today by your own free will?
You can't help it.
No, yes or no?
My point is that
you can't.
You're born as a sinner. Unless you're born again, you will just live as a sinner.
I am born
you
as
can't
a
help
sinner.
it.
I was born as a sinner 1,000.
That is why you need.
Times.
That's not. How can that be? How can you be born a sinner 1,000 of years of time? How can that be?
Because reincarnation.
You were born one day. You have a date of birth, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, that is the day you were born. That's why
I was
now
never born
you
and
must
I will
born
never
again.
die. I was never born and I will never die.
You will die. I will die. Even I'm born again, but I will die.
This body will
if I
die,
stay.
you will not
That's
die.
my point. The body
So
will
the soul
die.
is eternal, yeah?
Yeah, but the soul will go to
soul is
hell or be
eternal.
with God. What will happen to
You
your
can
soul?
take your soul in your own hands, and God will allow you as long as you don't sin.
But that's not true. See, all this,
See, your
all
scriptures
this, all
say
this.
this, but my scripture says
But,
otherwise.
but my concern for you is that you need to be born again. I am.
If I live,
Why, you want to go to hell? Is that what you're saying? You want to go to hell?
even in hell, I will be praising God. So if God sends me to hell, it will be a lesson for me.
But it's a deception.
No, it's not.
It is a deception. Let me tell you something. The
Listen,
chief
if you're
master
born-
deceiver is
if you're
here
born with
to
God,
deceive people. Yes. The
There
sun
is
is in my
no-
eyes, so I want to take this one.
There's not one person
Yes.
come in between me and my Creator.
But Jesus is God.
Listen, if Jesus Christ is God,
Yes.
He came down to teach a lesson.
Yes. More than a lesson. He
You
came
know
to
how
save
many
you and I.
people, how many people we have in our scriptures that came down just like Jesus Christ, and we know He is God. Krishna, you've heard of Krishna before?
Yes.
He is God. He
Krishna is
taught-
not God.
See, now let me just tell you from our scriptures, okay?
Yes.
Stop
Okay.
trying to say
I'm
no,
telling
because
you.
I know you say no.
Okay,
I
yeah.
know that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to prove your point that how I see Jesus.
Okay.
So I do believe that He had divinity in him. I believe all these people have divinity in him. But the utmost form of God is the one who sits in our hearts. And that God is the most forgiving, the most loving, and the most passionate God. You don't need anybody. But if you are just conscious enough, the gift He
You don't
gave
need
you,
anybody.
No, you don't need.
You need Jesus.
The gift that He gave you, your own free will can, your
Jesus
own
Christ.
free will.
Because without Jesus
Your
Christ,
own
you will
free
die
will.
and go to hell.
Your
You
own
see,
free
the
will,
knowledge you
your-
have is coming from the
See,
tree
this is pointless
of the
now.
knowledge
This is
of
pointless.
good and evil. I've been listening to you.
But this is
I've been
pointless
listening to you.
conversation.
Yeah, because you don't want to hear.
No, but I know
Are you-
what you're gonna say, and
Oh,
you don't know what
tell
I'm
me,
gonna
tell
say.
me what I'm going to say.
That Jesus Christ is the only way, and that if I find any
believe-
other
okay,
way,
you believe that?
No, of course I don't.
But
God is
if you
infinite.
don't
There's
believe that,
infinite ways to
then
heaven.
you will die and
God,
go to hell.
see,
Because
why?
you're sin- because-
Isn't this sinful? Didn't Jesus teach non-violent and not?
Am I being violent?
Did
I don't
Jesus
know
not
what you're
walk
talking
away?
about.
Did
No,
Jesus not
I'm
walk
saying
away
to
from
you.
the sinners?
Yeah, but I'm saying to you.
Because He put it in the hands of the Father, no?
again.
He put all their problems
But
in
you
the
don't-
hands of
you
the
don't believe
Father.
it. What
When
you-
He was
you
getting
don't- you don't even
crucified,
believe what you're
when He
saying.
was
You
getting.
don't even believe what you're saying.
I do
Because
believe that
if you
Jesus was
did,
teaching
you will
softness
acknowledge
and
Him as Lord and Savior.
I don't believe He's the Lord and Savior.
But He is.
No, the Lord and Savior is
You
the one
need
God.
the blood of Jesus to wash away your sins.
Nice talking to you.
Nothing else. What's your name?
Raphael.
Raphael is nice to meet you. But you need to be born again.
All right.
Keep your life.
I was born
And you'll never
again
be
many
the same
times, my
again.
friend.
You need to be born again. I was speaking earlier on to Raphael, and Raphael is full of knowledge, full of so much information from the universe. He even begins to define God as, part of the universe. But you see, that is why we have the scriptures to tell us the truth. And if you understand anything, you will know that the knowledge we have has come from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When Adam and Eve ate from that tree, what happened? Explosion of knowledge. But it's bringing death. And so people think there are many ways. In Hinduism, you can believe what you like. But Jesus Christ is the only way, the only truth, and the only life. And unfortunately, as I spoke to Raphael, I wanted to get that across to him, but he wouldn't listen. It's interesting. He wanted to share his knowledge with me. But once I mentioned Jesus as Lord, he didn't want to know. So I appeal to anyone who listens to what I'm saying. Everybody needs to be born again. Because if you're not born again, you cannot see God's kingdom. And if you're not born again, you cannot enter God's kingdom. Once you're born again, you see the kingdom. Once you're born again, you enter the kingdom. And once you become part of the kingdom, you live a powerful life in Jesus Christ. God bless you.